Welcome back. This is episode 29 of Lift Talk. I'm here with John Tran. We're going to do a introduction to the SBD Australia Cup, which is a competition that's been on the APA calendar for a few months now. There's been a couple of posts about it online, but not really a lot of information yet, other than to the people who are actually competing. So we wanted to kind of answer some of the frequently asked questions that we've got and just kind of shed the light on what we're doing with the cup. But before we get to that, John, you just went to Worlds in Truniskakai, is that right? Truniskakai, okay, in Lithuania. Your first World Championships, how was it?
Interesting. Being in the same spot for like 14 days straight was probably a bit much.
Yeah, so you were the head coach of the team, which means you have to be there for the entire championships, which was 8 days, right? The whole thing was 8 days?
No, I think it was like, was it 8 days? It was all blur.
Yeah, okay.
To be honest, it was all blur. I got there like 2 or 3 days before the whole thing started.
Yeah. So you were planning on going with Kana, who won 83 nationals and then wasn't able to go because of issues with visas and stuff.
Yep.
So you had planned to go with Kana and get there nice and early so he could acclimate to the time zone and it changes and all that stuff. He's obviously someone who's not done a lot of traveling as well. So you were very adamant that he got there early. And then he didn't end up going. So you were kind of there on your own. Talk to me about what it was like to actually coach on the world stage. How is it different to just coaching at a local meet?
Well, firstly, I didn't directly handle any lifters. It was a role of head coach. The way we sort of structured it was that I would almost be like an enabler, an overseer, because a lot of the lifters were fortunate enough to have their actual coaches on comp day. So it just made more sense for me to check in with people, make sure everything was all right, everyone had comp plans, they knew what they're doing.
Like a manager role.
Yeah. Like almost team manager / head coach. Like I was in charge of getting the passes, banquet tickets, telling people how to get to the venue, all that sort of stuff. In terms of the coaching side compared to like a local or nationals, the biggest contrast is you see all the people you see on Instagram and you spend half the time walking going, oh, that's so-and-so and that's so-and-so and that's so-and-so. And then you realize they're just normal people and they're all really friendly. So it just becomes, you get all starry-eyed and everything. But from a competition standpoint, probably the biggest contrast is the scoring. They use good lift instead of, what do we use? Lifting cast here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So the screen is different. So if you're used to watching it on YouTube, then it's familiar. If you've never seen it before, it does take a bit of getting used to because it's just a giant blue screen with text scrolling down. Something looks something like 90s MS-DOS on an old 386 PC or something like that. It's just a different vibe, different environment. Dare I say it's a little bit more chill because everyone there is experienced and
less frantic.
Everyone's
more confident in their decisions and everyone knows what they're doing.
Yeah, it's almost a little bit more casual in that regard.
And more space as well. Like, is there more room for everyone to kind of roam around?
You know what? APA Nationals warm-up room was actually bigger.
Okay.
They had 6 racks in this space. It was probably only 2/3 the size of the APA Nationals.
Okay.
With way more people. Because you could have 3 coaches. Two per lifter, and then 3 if you had 2.
Yeah,
3 and 3 if you had 2 or more. So it got pretty busy in there. But yeah, otherwise it's just like any other comp, I suppose. At least that's how I sort of envisaged it. I can see how people get completely nervous because it's just you're in a foreign country and everything else. But the way it ran, it was much like any other big comp, really.
I've heard that Worlds comps and international comps just run a lot faster as well. Do you find that to be the case?
Yes.
Ran really quick. Like
definitely
the spotting team was good.
Yeah, spotting teams, they take it seriously, which is really, really, really good. I think you don't notice it as much because the stage is bigger. But then, yeah, when it comes to the crunch, you actually look at them like as soon as the lift is done, they've already got the plates in their hand ready to go. So they're like a pit crew, and they were like that for the entirety of the comp. So it's pretty consistent and pretty smooth. Yeah,
you just kind of look up and you're like, oh, that was 10 minutes quicker than what I was expecting.
Yeah, definitely.
That's great when you can barely notice, but it does make a big difference in the end.
Yeah.
We noticed that here in Australia, there's particular gyms that have really experienced spotters who do take it seriously. and like you're stoked to go to those comps because you know that it's going to run quick. Whereas like other comps just drag on and take forever. And
Yeah, I
like,
think it was they fly in. Isn't there like a Czech? I'm pretty sure there's a Czech spotting team that they fly into like Europeans. And
I didn't know that, but that's
yeah,
pretty cool.
there is a dedicated team.
That's what we should do for the cup is like hold like tryouts and like pick the 5 best spotters and get them
Just
in.
gonna stop watch and do it like a pit crew.
Yeah, that'd be classic. So tell me about the Aussie team. Who were you most impressed with of the Australian team that you were around?
Oh, you're asking me to pick favorites.
Just pick one.
No, it's really hard. I can't. I don't think so. Because everyone had their unique challenges that they had to deal with personally. Some people, like for example, Jackson Stubberfield had issues with basically trying to get enough food in for the whole duration while I was there. And because this is super heavy, he'd be last lift. So he basically had this. His challenge was get enough calories in.
How does
on
he
the
eat
regular.
enough without feeling sick with the new food?
Yeah, like eating, I don't know, 5 waffles at breakfast, trying to get those in. Some people were a lot more nervous because it's a foreign country and they got to deal with navigating different languages and stuff. I can't put it down to like one specific.
From an outsider perspective, the person who I think was like the most impressive was Lucy. Just like the way that she came onto the first international comp, came onto the scene. Like she might have been the only Australian who hit a total PB, I think. Or like at least maybe one of the only few.
Maybe, yeah.
Like 9 for 9 day, perfect on the platform. Like she just looked like she belonged immediately. And I thought that was like quite impressive.
Actually, now that you mention it, I'll put it down to 2. And that was Vicky. Even though she bombed, she processed that mental hurdle really, really well and said, stuff this. I still got the rest of the comp to do. And she went all out and just went with it. So I felt like she handled that really, really well, given the tough circumstances she was presented with.
I feel like most people would not have been able to like get over it so quickly and then get onto deadlifts and do well. Like she got all of her deadlifts.
Yeah, I mean, she was definitely annoyed and upset, but she was able to get past that point and go, you know what, I still got the rest of the comp to do, and just go out there and nail it.
Yeah.
And the other one was Nat when she went out and pulled that deadlift.
Yeah, that was
deadlift record. She's just like cool as a cucumber. Like if she was nervous or anything, you could not tell at all. She'd just go do a lift, high five to Jacob, and then go down, sit down, headphones, and then when we're ready, just go out and just do the job, and that's it.
Yeah, she came to train here before Nationals. Like I think it was on the Friday, just like last session before National. Maybe it was the Thursday. And her demeanor while she was training here was exactly what it was like when she was competing on the Sunday.
Yeah, heaps chill.
It was like there was no change, just completely chill, just completely like comfortable and just cruising.
Yeah.
Love that. What about of the non-Australian people? What was like the best moment of the Worlds?
Easily Duran's coming out for 350.
So you're a Russ hater then?
I'm not a Russ hater.
I'm kidding.
I don't know. I'm feeling different about Russ. He is who he is. I feel like he's brought the popularity of powerlifting up over the years because of who he is.
Massively.
I suppose, that deadlift. Actually, there was a couple of moments in that. It was Russ coming out pulling and then coming first, and everyone looking at the board waiting for the attempt to go in for 350. And when it did, the crowd the crowd exploded. So he didn't even come out yet. When Durans finally came out and did the lift, everyone was going berserk, as you see in the YouTube videos. And that moment where he just, shushed the crowd, and everyone just went silent. I've never seen anyone command a crowd like that. And in interviews post-comp, I don't think he meant to like shush the crowd per se, but he just did that so it's part of his setup. He was concentrating, and
what I heard was that he could hear his son's voice. Like his son wasn't in the crowd or anything, but he could hear his son's voice in his head saying like, "Go, daddy."
Yeah.
And then everyone screamed and he couldn't no longer hear his son's voice. So he wanted to hear that again beforehand and get everyone to be quiet so he could hear it.
Yeah.
That's what I saw in the interviews, which I think is amazing.
Yeah. And the way he pulled it off the ground, I don't think Russ lost, it was Duran's day. I think if Duran's needed to do another 10 kilos to win it, he would have done it.
Yeah, and I think like because Russ had his final squat overturned by the jury as well, which was like 7 or 8 kilo difference. And I think Duran's would have still been able to pull whatever was necessary.
Yeah, 100%.
It's interesting that you mentioned that the crowd was like excited about the attempt being put in, but he was already in second place, wasn't he?
I think so.
Like, I feel like wasn't that obvious that they were going to do that?
Yeah, we used to know.
Everyone was like anticipating it, and then it was like, yeah,
it actually happens.
Yeah, I think there's actually nothing more exciting in powerlifting than the last lift being for the win, especially when you know that the person's got it within their capabilities.
Yeah.
Like when Anaharo came out after Duran's and it was like 4:05 or something, like that was also for the win, but no one went crazy because it wasn't really realistic.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, with him, you just don't know, I suppose. And there was so you could see like
I feel like at 4:05. I feel like I feel like maybe if it was like 3:90, would have been like, oh, maybe. But
the other thing that no one mentions is when he came out for the second, and obviously he didn't lift it, but he came out and just went, oh, like
not doing it. Yeah,
everyone was laughing, but also surprised as well, because normally when you don't come out, you don't come out at all. But he came out.
Yeah.
To do that, and it's almost like, haha, fooled you guys.
Yeah, I think because he knew like he was in third regardless of whether he made that.
Yeah,
it was almost like
some gas.
Wait and chill. Let's just wait and relax.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a cool moment. All right, we'll get on. We'll get on to the actually. Chris, did you watch any Worlds?
No.
All right, I won't ask you your favorite moment then.
And can I just say, side note, the women's lifting now is where the action is.
It's so good.
It's mental.
It's the amount that they've progressed in the last sort of like 5 years.
Yeah,
it's caught up to the men's in terms of like how exciting it is.
100%.
Yeah, it's great, and the depth as well. Like the women's used to be like 1 or 2 at the top, and now it's like they've got that depth like the men's does. It's great.
Yeah, it's Nita coming out to like squat. What did she end up squatting?
311.
311, where she only nailed 300 like months before. With like a slight pause in between.
Nuts. Absolutely nuts.
Very casual.
When I saw the 311, because I didn't watch anything live because it was on at like I just go to sleep early. It was on way too early. I would get up every morning and like not check Instagram, but I would go straight to the stream and like watch it while I would do like stuff in the morning, like empty the dishwasher or whatever. I remember watching the women's super heavyweights and seeing 311 being loaded and be like, she's not going to get that. And then she fucking smoked it. Just proved me wrong. Just at home.
It's mental.
In Australia, squatting half that. All right, let's get on to the SBD Australia Cup. So, John, you are the meet director for the comp. When did you have this idea in the first place? And can you talk to me a little bit about the concept behind the competition? Like, what's the vision? Like, what are we trying to achieve with this competition?
It's a good question. So, SBD Australia Cup was born out of the idea of a combination of, we used to host the City Strength Cup back in our old location as the annual event that we would offer prize money. And I think we got to a point where we were offering, I think we got to 1,000.
Yeah, it was 1,000 for first female.
1,000 first for female. Yeah, that was probably 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago at the old location before we moved.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, federation changes and all that sort of stuff, that sort of timing, that used to be in November. And then obviously SBD does Sheffield.
And that was also an anniversary for when the gym opened, right?
That's November, right. Yeah, it was an anniversary comp. So that coupled with, we hadn't done that in a while. I hadn't offered prize money. And then Sheffield's come about with this concept of, percentage proximity to records. So the combination of going to Sheffield in February, seeing it in person, and seeing what SBD put in, how much they put in, which is still mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And lifting the standard and presenting something that's not necessarily like inconceivably or wildly different. Like, they're just looking at everything and go, how can we make this better? And they do that from comp to comp. So this February, Greta and I was fortunate enough to go to Sheffield, be able to see it in person. And I thought, man, like we haven't done City String Cup and there's Sheffield. Like what better combination of like doing this thing again so we can make it an annual event that's laid out on the calendar. And yeah, that's how it came about.
And that's kind of how I've been selling it to people as well, is that like it is Australian Sheffield. That's kind of how I've been selling it to people.
The budget version.
Yeah, I've been helping you with figuring out who gets invited and reaching out to people and stuff. And that's been the first thing that I say to everyone is like, you know, our vision for this is to basically become Australian Sheffield. Like, obviously Nationals is great, but there's, you know, 150 to 200 people at Nationals. This is like condensed Nationals to the point where it's like only people are actually handpicked to do it.
That's right.
2024. Yeah, so yeah, we'll go into that. We've got 12 men and 12 women. We actually just had one of the women pull out yesterday, so we're trying to find a replacement at the moment. But
we'll go down the list.
Yeah, we will go down our list of people that we've ranked and figure out who that replacement will be. So the first thing that's different about this comp to, you know, many other comps that are for prize money, like just the classic comp that's like the best GL gets the prize money. We're going down the same route as Sheffield with the scoring system, but it's proximity to Australian record.
That's right.
Why do you think that's a good scoring system, John?
I think it helps. It gives people a target for starters. They know what to aim for, well, to some degree. But also, it adds a lot more strategy in their planning for competitions throughout the year. So, you know, we've scheduled this comp to be 26th of October deliberately, so it's far away enough from Nationals and obviously those that go to Worlds, they have enough time to take a breather. But when they do Nationals, I would like this comp to be in the back of their mind going, okay, part of my planning and strategies to win Nationals, I need to do enough to win Nationals, but also have an opportunity to get an invite and B, potentially win the prize money. So it needs to cross into their mind.
And also, if they're not winning Nationals, there's still an opportunity to be invited if you get closer and closer to that Australian record total.
That's right.
So, like, we're not just bringing the people who, I will go into this a bit later, but we're not just bringing the people who win Nationals. We're bringing the best of the best.
That's right.
Essentially. And what I've seen with the comps that are just for GL, we kind of know at the start of the comp who's going to win because
the best chance.
You know what GL everyone has. Whereas in this system, the scoring is reflective of the talent in the particular weight class, which means that the pool is actually evened out by what the records are, which means that there's more pressure for people to make lifts. And what we see is that when you look at Sheffield, or the USA did a version of this, I think it's called Raleigh. They did their version of this a few weeks ago. You look at the made lifts in these comps and they're really, really high because each lift is getting you closer and closer to that percentage that you need to win. So people play it safer and they play it smarter with their attempt selections.
Yeah, there's a lot more strategy.
Exactly right.
But also strategy in terms of like what weight class they're going to compete in. They may opt to go up a weight class or even cut a weight class if they think that's an easier reach for them.
Yeah, and that's one of the things with this as well. When we've got people to sign up, they don't actually have to enter their weight class. They just sign up and they weigh in on the day, and that's the class that they're in.
Exactly. So much like a local comp in that regard, because that's the rule that APA has. But yeah, it just means they can have a little more strategy and planning in place to make them more competitive.
So what about the prize money? Have you decided on prize
the dollar
money?
signs. Okay, so first place.
Oh, wait, we didn't mention.
What's that?
We didn't mention that at this competition, you can break records. So
yes,
although it is a local comp, it's classed as a special competition, which means that it's kind of different to the usual local. And we have been given the all clear from APA that this comp will have records broken at it. And that's kind of one of the things that we want to see, is like we want to encourage people to go for records, and like it's more entertaining when someone's attempting something that no one's ever done in the country.
100%.
And that ties into the prize money. We've also incentivized people who do break records with prize money. So go back to the prize money.
Yeah,
Sorry
so
for interrupting.
Before I jump on the prize money, it also means people, probably for thirds, they'll take more risks to go for it, and that adds to the entertainment value.
Yeah.
Prize money. So we're looking at first place at $1,500, male and female. Second place, what did I say second place was? I think it was like $750. It was half, and probably $500 for third. That's for totals placing. So if you
On percentage of Australia.
on percentage of total, and you get a $150 bonus every time you break a record and still hold it at the end.
So the person who holds the record once that event is finished is the one who gets the money.
Yep.
So if let's say in the 57 kilo class, the squat record bounces between two people a couple times.
Yep.
The person who finishes with it at the end is the one who gets the
one that
paycheck.
gets it. Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So before that, the potential is that you can win up to $2,100.
Yep. And that's for the total as well. So
Yep.
squat, bench, dead, total.
Yep.
Yep. Cool. So that prize money, will that go up every year? Is that the plan?
That is the plan. The plan is we're starting a bit more conservative. $1,500 is up from what we used to do from City Strength Cup. We figured this is almost like a pilot run of a comp, and then we'll up the prize money next year. The other things we'll look at in terms of support and making the comp more interesting for lifters to actually participate in is not only increase in prize money, but also the concept of paying for like travel expenses to get here and or accommodation on something we can like at least sort of buffer for people, especially with those traveling interstate, because there will be a few people who have to come a long way.
Yeah.
If they don't win, they're out of pocket. So
and that was one of my suggestions that we are doing this time is to pay for their comp entry essentially. So if you do this competition, there is no competition entry. I think the analogy you gave was like you invite someone to a party and then all of a sudden it's a $50 door charge. It's like
the door fee.
We invite you to our competition and that's it. Like you're in. And the other thing was we've got these event t-shirts which will be made by SBD. So there'll be the SBD, the cut and the print and everything. And we're going to get each lifter who's competing will get their own personalized shirt with their last name on the back.
Yep.
It's like a one-of-one t-shirt, which I think is a pretty cool thing.
Yep. And then the actual event t-shirt will also be available on sale closer to the date on the website, but also on the comp day.
Yep. I need to go to the bathroom, so we'll be back with more. So the media team for the comp, John, who's doing the media?
The exclusive media access to Thirds Co.
So that's a team of videographers and editors who about 5 or 6 of them now.
Yeah.
They'll be doing photos, they'll be doing videos. We're going to be doing some promo before the competition, where we are going to interview all the lifters for a few minutes and get some sound bites and make their own reel for each lifter, like introducing them.
Yep. To tell a story essentially.
Yeah, tell a story about them, build some hype, and posters for each of the lifters as well. So all that kind of stuff will be coming. They'll all be visible on the socials very soon.
Yep, exciting.
All right, so next up is the criteria for getting invited. Now, this one is not like set in concrete because it's a little bit subjective.
It is.
And because it's hard to go like, okay, we're going to send everyone from the winner of every nationals class, and then we're going to pick the best next 4 people on good lift points or whatever. Because what we want to encourage is people who are actually competitive in their weight class, but also competitive overall in terms of like a GL, or competitive overall in terms of closeness to the record. So for example, if we were to invite someone who won their weight class, but they were 10% below what the Australian record is, that wouldn't really be worthy of an invite, in my opinion. So when we decided on sort of what the things that we were looking for the invite process, there was 3 criteria. So number 1 was we want the best in Australia here. And how do we measure that? number one, we use good lift score, which is the IPF scoring system.
Instagram followers.
And number two, we want people who are competitive in their weight class. So I'll give an example of someone who could have a high good lift score, but could be the 7th ranked lifter in their weight class. Like, we obviously don't want to take 7 lifters from the same weight class.
That's right.
So there's got to be some balance between, ensuring that we invite enough talent, like, across the board, but we don't sort of condense to 1 or 2 weight classes too highly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a little bit hard to explain, but that's sort of it. We want you to have a high good lift score, and we want you to also be very high up in the ranks for your particular weight class. That's the first criteria. Second one was, we want people who are within proximity of records, and in particular the total. That's the one that's going to win the competition, is the total. But there may be particular people who have a giant squat or a giant bench or a giant deadlift, which raises the sort of entertainment of the competition, and that person may be worthy of an invite. And then the third one was, we want battles within a weight class. That one's definitely the lowest criteria, what's the word I'm looking for? Priority. Because usually if someone fits that first criteria and there's 1 or 2 people who are close, then that will by default fit that third criteria as well. Did you have anything to add to that, John?
No, I think you covered it pretty well.
So then that comes to and the example of like the in-class in-class battles is the 105 class. We have in Australia 5 lifters who have achieved the same total as their best total, and 4 of them are coming to the cup, which I think is really awesome. But they're also very, very high in the good lift score.
Is that the most represented weight class for this comp?
Yeah.
It is,
Yeah. But as we mentioned before, you don't have to disclose what your weight class is. So one of them might go down, one of them might go up. We actually don't know.
Yep.
We are hoping that they all compete against each other and it's all really, really close, and every lift is really important as far as like the standings go. But, one of them might decide to go up, one of them might decide to go down. We don't know.
Yeah. We're not locking them in.
Yeah. So that comes to who is actually lifting. So as I said before, we had one of our women pull out. So we have 11 women confirmed currently. We have 12 men confirmed currently. These were not the first 23 people invited. We did have a lot of people on our wish list who said no for various reasons, whether they needed a break or whether they just done Worlds and they were a little burnt out, whether they were just actually done with powerlifting, etc. So we've tried to follow those same rules that I outlined as far as picking the next best people after those invites were declined.
Yep.
Cool. So I'm going to start with the women, and I'm going to go from lightest body weight to heaviest body weight. And like I said before, we don't know which class people are competing in yet, so we can't say this person's in this weight class.
Doing this weight, yeah.
So the first person is Vicky Kay, multiple-time Australian champion, current Australian record holder in all 4 of the records for the 47 class. 2-time world competitor, obviously very decorated, and I think has the 2nd or 3rd highest good lift score in Australia.
Yeah, she's up there.
Tested.
Yeah,
so she's way up there.
Bench redemption for Vicky.
Yes. So obviously we mentioned before in the Worlds recap that, Worlds didn't quite go her way. I think that was obviously controversial and very disappointing for everyone who's a fan of Vicky and for her herself. So I'm really hoping that this comp is her redemption. I think she mentioned something about needing to get redemption when she accepted her invite in the email. So that'll be really exciting. Next up, Xin Liang, who is the current 52 kilo champion in APA. I believe she's also the deadlift record holder with 175.5. Next up is Kate Nax, who is from USAPL, coming over to APA for this comp. She totaled 395 at 52, which is a fair bit above what the winner of Nationals, Xin, actually did at Nationals. So she's definitely in the running for, going over that total record. Next was Liz Craven. Do you know who Liz Craven is?
No, never heard of her.
Never heard of her. 10-time Open national champion. I think she's been to 5 or 6 Worlds. She's the only person in Australian history to receive a medal on the total at Worlds. Broken multiple world records in the squat, deadlift, and the total across the 52 and 57 class. Widely regarded as the GOAT in Australian powerlifting, drug tested powerlifting.
Yep.
So that's obviously really exciting.
Powerlifting since what, 2011, 2012, I think.
Yeah, she's 12 or 13 years into competing, veteran, actually an M2 next year. So still getting better, still getting stronger. Liz Craven, everyone knows who Liz Craven is. Next up is Caitlin Atia. She came second at Nationals in the 69 kilo class. She is known for her big deadlift, 215 at 69, which is the Australian record. She was only 2.5 kilos off first place at Nationals recently. And she's actually my client, so I can talk a little bit more about her. During her Nationals prep, was studying for like one of those specialty medical exams. She's a doctor and was like stressed out of her mind. And as soon as the exam finished, Nationals was like the next week, and she was like, her training just didn't go great. And since the exam was over, her training started going gangbusters. So I expect to see big things from Kate at this comp. Next up, Kelly Clark, who is another veteran.
Hell yeah.
Multiple time Australian champion in the 63 and 72 kilo class, back when the 72 kilo class existed. She competed at 2022 APU Nationals, and she was actually miles ahead, and then she actually fainted on her deadlift opener and ended up not coming out for the next two. So
wow.
She was probably going to win, and then ended up scratching her deadlifts and bombed. But she competed recently, which was her first comp since then, put up a really good total in the 76 class, and is within striking distance of making it to 69. So it'll be interesting to see whether she does 76 or whether she does 69.
I'm interested to see Kelly compete because it's been a while.
I believe she squatted 190 and deadlifted 200 at this recent comp.
She's really consistent.
She's super consistent. Yeah. She's been in the game for a long time. So she's super fun to watch. We've got two other girls in the 76 class. We've got Brittany Romas, who was just at Worlds. She's the winner of the 76 APA Nationals from this year, and also the 69 from 2022. Particularly known for a strong bench press. Great lifter, approaching 500 kilos in that class. And then the other 76 we had was Shania Radke, who is quite close to Britt, gave her a good run at Nationals, actually had an attempt for the win at Nationals, which was just a little bit too heavy, but she's been making some really great progress lately. So it'll be super interesting to see those two go head to head again. And joining them also is another legend of powerlifting, Isabel von Weissenberg, multiple time world's competitor with Sweden. I believe she's had a few world records, open world records in the squat. Super decorated lifter. Hasn't competed since 2022 APU Nationals, where she won the 76 class then. Didn't end up going to Worlds due to complications with the federation, but is looking to make her comeback. And her training's been looking good. So that will be an interesting one to watch. I feel like I've been talking for 10 minutes and you haven't said anything, John. You're just nodding at me.
I'm just staring at you.
Yeah, he's been agreeing.
And we've got two more women. This battle I'm very excited for. Beth Parker versus Yani Zhao. So Beth with the best total of 530 kilos. Obviously known for her big bench press. She was the winner of the 84 Nationals this year, and looks to be getting back to her best, if not better than her best. So I'm excited to see how she goes. She's been looking great, like I said. And she's going to be going up against Yani Zhao, who recently did 535, 5 kilos above Beth. I know Beth will be wanting to get that back off her. And these two are great friends, so it'll be really cool to see them.
I'm really keen to see this battle.
Yeah, it'll be really cool to see them go back and forth and battle. And particularly because they have sort of different strengths as well. Like Yani, it has a bigger squat and Beth has a bigger bench. And the deadlifts are pretty similar. Beth has an advantage there. But it will be interesting to see who takes advantages of their strengths.
And both of them have been to Worlds. And both of them are hugely experienced.
Yeah, so Beth's actually two-time sub-junior IPF champion, and Yanni's two-time junior IPF champion.
Yeah.
And like I said, they've known each other for years and years, been friends, gone to Worlds together, gone to Uzbekistan together. So that'll be really cool to see them go at it. Who are you excited to watch out of those women? All of them.
I'm excited to see Isabella
Yeah, it's been a while.
because it's been a while. Like I haven't seen her compete in real life. I've only ever seen her back when she used to compete for Sweden at Worlds.
And
But-
she didn't have much competition recently in Australia as well. Like the 76 national title that she won, she didn't have a great day. She didn't make that many of her lifts, but she won easily. Like it wasn't a contest.
Yeah.
So in this instance, she's going to have, there's going to be more pressure, but I think she'll actually rise to it, like because she'll have to make lifts.
Yeah,
I
I really like to see people who've otherwise at the front of the pack, but they haven't had to be challenged by anyone and like be put under pressure. So interesting to see like Kate from coming over from USAPL, for example, essentially coming out, not coming out of nowhere per se, but at least lifting an APA. She's a fresh face there. Also, yeah, Beth and Yanni. That will be fun.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have some really great battles. Obviously, the two girls.
We'll have to change the music from when those two come out to suit their hardstyle battle.
Yeah. We'll need to get a DJ or something and get them all to do song requests or something. But yeah, we've got some really great battles across all the women's weight classes, and then obviously they'll all be competing for the overall as well. So the nuance in the game plan is going to be really, really interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right, so going on to the men, we've got Andrew Trieu, who is the winner. You're right, Chris. Watching reels. We've got Andrew Trieu, who was the winner of the 66 men's class at APU Nationals. Had a deadlift for the win to beat Yuki, which was one of the cool moments of Nationals. He just went to Worlds as well.
Yep.
Did really well. So he'll be back for this one. We've got Kian in the 74 class. He came third at Nationals, but he has a really, really high GL. He's also not been competing for that long and seems to be progressing really well. So it will be cool to see if he can give that total record a shake. I think he was about 20 kilos below the winner at Nationals, Leo.
Okay.
So he's not too far off. He did have the squat record on his second attempt, which was then broken by Stephen. So he's definitely within a shot of the squat record and the deadlift record and the total record. So that will be interesting to see how he goes. We have in the 83 class, well, presumably in the 83 class, Karnak Chambara.
Who's that?
Who he was the winner of the 83 Nationals. He was also the best male lifter at APA Nationals, the highest GL of all the males, totaled 776, and the total and squat record, I believe.
Yes.
Yep. So 290.5 squat and 776 total. He did have the bench record for a minute before it was broken again, but very well-rounded lifter. He'll probably be looking at all the records, to be honest. Like I think he's definitely within shot of all of them. The deadlift didn't really get set very high at Nationals because there was some people who were overextended and missed. So that's definitely within reach for Kana as well.
Yeah.
Which comes to the guy who came second at APA Nationals, which was James Lee. I believe he totaled 758. Had a couple of misses in there. So on a good day, he can definitely roll with Kana and give him a shake, which will be interesting.
Yeah, we've got to keep an eye out for that one.
And also in the 83s, Emilio, not going to try and pronounce his last name, from USAPL as well, who's totaled 750, which is just 8 kilos below James. Particularly known for his big deadlift. I believe he's done about 325, 330
Really?
in the gym. I don't know what he's done in comp, something like 320. But big deadlift. He actually trained here the other night and did 310. And
I think I met him the other night.
It was pretty easy, yeah.
Yeah.
Good bench on him as well. Squats getting there, not quite up there for like record territory, but still big total. Excuse me. And we have two lifters who are from 93. One of them, actually, Ewan Belgrove, was an 83. So it might be interesting to see whether he decides to go down for this because obviously there's prize money involved, and he's definitely a chance at the squat record in particular. Enormous squat on Ewan. He's done 310 at 93, which is only 10 kilos off what the best squat in the 120s was, and only 3 kilos off what the best squat in the 105s was. So
be interesting.
Huge squat. May go down to 83, may stay at 93, not really too sure. But he'll be really interesting to watch. It feels like...
What was his best total in 83? Do you remember?
Well, he beat Kana at States. So
yes. Kana did
I think he did
730 something.
I think he did 755 at 83.
Yeah, right.
And Kana had that pull to win. Yeah. That's right.
We just slapped it on, yeah.
Definitely 755 at 83. So it'll be interesting to see if Ewan decides to go down. The other guy we've got in the 93 coming over from USAPL, Josh Takua, who is a former IPF competitor with New Zealand. He lives in Queensland now. He's been there for a while. Has kind of bounced around different federations recently, but has communicated to me his interest in getting back to Worlds. And he's very well rounded across the board.
Yeah.
Huge squat and deadlift in particular.
That man is square.
He's
just a square.
He's like 5'3" and fucking enormous. Yeah. And like he's honestly would be my pick to win the men's.
How much does he walk around? Like, what's his body weight around?
I think he's around 95, but he used to cut to the 90 class. So this will be an easier cut for him to only make to 93. But I'm really interested to watch Josh. And I'm really excited to see whether he stays in the APA and goes to nationals and worlds, because I think he's in the men's side at least like our best chance at sort of someone like having a shake.
Yeah. Also feel like his lifts are pretty clear cut. They're not sort of iffy to referee or borderline.
Yeah. He's a powerhouse and he's been around for a long, long time. I believe he won a silver medal at Junior Worlds in the 83 class, and I'm pretty sure that the guy who beat him was Johnny Candido.
Serious?
I'm fairly sure. In Finland, 2015. Josh, if you're listening, fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure. Next up was the 4 105 boys, who we've all got down with their best total of 822.5. So we've got Yanni Marcellus, who trains and coaches out of Power Elite, 822.5, huge squat, huge bench, great, well-rounded lifter, really fun to watch, really, really intense. And yeah, he's a powerhouse. Next up, Michael Rand, who is a 1 or 2 time national champion and 2 or 3 time worlds competitor.
Yep.
Known for his enormous deadlift.
Known for he knows his body.
And he knows his body. Shout out Jacob Sofianos. Known in particular for his enormous deadlift. So it will be interesting to see if he kind of goes all out this time, because obviously what we saw at nationals was he kind of sandbagged his deadlift on the 3rd, and then Sam Forsberg came in the back door and ended up winning. We did invite Sam. We did want Sam to be here, but he needed a break after Worlds and wants to push the record as far as he can take it by nationals next year, which is cool.
Yeah.
And the other 2 105s were Hung Fan, who's coming back to the IPF from USAPL, and obviously he was with PA as well. He did 822.5 the same weekend as APU nationals, but he did it in the 90 kilo class. And I think he weighed 88.9 or something like that.
It's also really exciting to watch. He's
awesome to watch, especially known for his big deadlift. I believe he's done like 355 or 360 in competition. And he'll probably have the final say in this one, which is really cool. And the last 105 from Queensland, Tommy Chaplin, who also 822.5. He came 3rd at nationals and 2nd at 2022 APU nationals. I believe he won Oceania championships that year too. So he's been around for a while, very well rounded, like really good at all 3 lifts. Probably not vying for any individual lift records, but he'll be right there in the total.
Yeah, nice.
Just chipping away and making lifts. And the final competitor in the 120 men, Sam Butterworth, 2nd place at 2024 APA Nationals. He came 1st at 2022 APU Nationals. Such a mouthful. So many acronyms. He is known for his big deadlift. He had a 373 attempt to try and beat Josh at Nationals, which was maybe like 10 kilos too heavy. He's done about 350. He's done 350 in a competition before. He's done 360 in the gym. Enormous deadlifter and super, super fun to watch. And that is the list of lifters that we've got.
That's extensive. It's good.
I'm out of breath.
You're out of breath?
Can you
Can I talk for a
can you
bit?
talk for a little bit?
What do you want me to talk about? I mean,
next topic was actually who are you excited for in the men?
actually, Josh Takua. I just like you said, I think he's going to be the star show.
Yeah, he's going to be hard to beat because the 93 record, I believe, is still the standard. I don't think the total was taken, so I think it's like 785.
Yeah.
He's done 810 at 90. So it'll be really interested to watch him.
Yeah, and coach's bias, Kana, because Kana's he's going to get such a big hit with it. He's still very new. He's still very green.
Yeah.
Nationals, which he won, was our second our second comp together. That's right. So
that
at
was
that
only
time,
his third comp.
that's right. He totaled 700 in his first comp, 35 for his APU states, and then APA nationals we did 776. So he's on a good trajectory. His training's very consistent. His movement quality has improved significantly. Consistency, like he wears the full kit when he's training every single session. I give him shit about it, but if he maintains his consistency, knock on wood, everything goes well. I'm hoping that he's up for middle contention in next year's Worlds if we can keep this momentum going.
Yeah.
So I'm excited what he can pull together because in preparation for Worlds, of which he was supposed to go, we're on track for close to 800 total. The only other 83 that has hit that total is Nathan Tennis, who we did invite, but unfortunately turned it down due to injuries and done a few comps and just wasn't feeling it.
He just competed I think it was in May.
Yeah, it was in May.
Did his first comp in like 4 years.
Yeah, at Adonis.
Yeah. So I think doing a back-to-back prep and then planning to do nationals and worlds and then and basically in that way having 4 back-to-back preps was probably a bit much for someone with his injury history.
He's also older.
Honestly, fair enough.
Yeah, he's also older. Kana's still young. So yeah, I'm excited to see what he can put together on the day.
Yeah, I'm really interested in watching those two compete against each other at next year's nationals. That's like the matchup that I'm looking forward to the most, even though it's like 9 months away. Cool. So we've got a few more things we want to talk about. Talk to me about the live stream. What are we planning on doing for the live stream that's going to make this one special?
So what we're doing with the live stream is we're setting up a bench cam, which if you watch Worlds or any other IPF regional championships, they have a camera from up top looking down towards the bench. Just adds another perspective to the comp, and it's sort of more in line with what we want to take the live stream to make it look like a professional competition with a professional setup, with all the quality camera and angles, replay, which we've done at our last 2 local comps, and having all the overlays and everything, just making it look like you're actually watching an ESPN or like whatever sports channel on commercial TV. That's the goal of it. And the eventuality of it is if we get enough viewership that we look at promoting it with advertising space for potential sponsors. But before that happens, we want to basically make sure it's a finely tuned and well-oiled machine, that everything works well to the standard that we want it to be.
Yep. One of the other things that we're planning on doing is live interviews during the breaks.
Yes, that's right.
So we've got our commentary team, which I can announce. The commentary team is going to be Chris Andrews and Matt Bartholomew. And then our MC is going to be Jacob Sofianos. So Chris and Jacob are coming from Perth to come and help us out, which is awesome. Chris has commentated at Worlds just recently.
Yep.
He's got a fantastic voice for just like a smooth,
deep voice,
beautiful voice. And then Matty B will be coming in with all the analytics and all of the strategy and all that kind of stuff. So those two are going to work really well as a commentary team. And, during the break between squat and bench, we'll go and grab a coach or go and grab a lifter and do a quick little interview like they do in sports. So obviously, like me being someone who watches a lot of sport, like I've got ideas from other sports which I think we can bring into powerlifting and make it, more viewer friendly, because powerlifting streams usually suck. It's usually just a camera setup and like no commentary, no replays, and it's actually really boring to watch a powerlifting comp at home if the stream isn't good.
We have to like preface it with like, it is setting up a stream and everything is really resource heavy. So not necessarily poo-pooing on other places who can't have the same sort of setup, because it is expensive.
Yeah, of course.
And,
I'm comparing it to like professional sport with millions and millions of budget. Like, but we're trying to do what we can to take some of those things that make their product entertaining and make ours more entertaining.
Yeah, definitely. And Jacob can create. He's good at creating a vibe in the crowd.
He asked me if he can dress up, so I think he's probably going to wear a suit or something, which is cool.
Like, is he going to dress up like Bruce Buffer at UFC?
Probably. I don't know.
That'd be cool.
Is there anything we're missing? I got a few questions on Instagram, but I think we've covered most of them. What were they? Who's competing? We've done that. What selection criteria? We've done that. What selection criteria? And yeah, we've answered all.
The full comp breakdown is that there's actually a local comp component out of this.
Yeah.
And I think it's sold out within
8 minutes.
8 minutes?
8 minutes.
Yeah, right. Okay, I was going to say 13, but...
Because I had lifters wanting to do it, and one of them got on at 6:09, and it was gone.
Yeah, and I think even moving forward, as this event gets bigger and hopefully more prestigious, we will always keep... It's my intention to always keep an open competition, like a local comp or open comp component to this, because it gives people a taste to be on the same platform and be exposed to the same setup and the same live stream that the prime time, so to speak, or the actual cup competitors get to go on.
Yeah, and also, what we've done is we've kind of put this in a prime time spot. It's a 2 p.m. weigh-in and a 4 p.m. lift off, so it will be like kind of as the sun sets, like finishing off as the sun sets, kind of like a night feel, like a bit more buzz around at night. I find like if we just had it first thing in the morning, it'd kind of be like not quite as buzzy. So I think like we've got the local comp first thing in the morning, and then there'll be a bit of a break in between before the main event starts.
About 2 hours.
Which I think is really cool, because all the comps that I've been to so many in my life, and the ones that are at night are always like the most interesting, because people are there and like they're kind of letting their hair down. Maybe they're having a few drinks, and like it's a bit more fun.
You're very keen on this alcohol.
Yeah, is it going to be BYO, John? On the down low.
No comment.
On the down low.
No comment. Oh, actually, in addition to that, the intention is at some point to have this comp get so big that we actually have to get a dedicated venue.
We have to go somewhere else, do we?
Yeah, I'm putting it out there. We want this comp to... we're starting small. We're starting conservative because the other option would have been to wait until we had enough resources to make this and outsource this comp to go somewhere else, like a nationals or something like that. But I figured if you start now, then you can weed out any issues and learn from multiple experiences before you get to stepping out there and doing it as a massive
and obviously way
event.
more logistics going somewhere else, because you have to take so much equipment, you have to take so much stuff with you.
100%. And I mean, Greta and I do have extensive experience on doing off-site comps, but it's still a huge and major exercise to do it. So, running it here a few times will give us some data and some useful info. Yeah.
I think the only thing that we haven't really mentioned is like we want this comp to be the comp that lifters look forward to doing or being invited to. Obviously, this year we sent the invites out. No one had really heard of the concept, and it took a little bit of explaining to like, here's what we're trying to do. Like, it's just essentially our version of Australian Sheffield, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people turned it back. A lot of the people that we really wanted to lift aren't going to be there because of whatever reason, but we want it to be almost like a must do. Like, if you get invited, it's really, really, really hard to say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, a lot of people probably didn't have it in their calendar until we announced it. And we did sort of put this together a bit later than anticipated, but, we've got to start at some point. So starting it now means next year, hopefully, if this comp runs well, people will be knocking on our doors to try and do this comp.
And we'll be sending the invites out earlier next year as well.
Much earlier. Yeah.
So that people have more time to plan sort of their yearly calendar and plan their training and
post
stuff
nationals,
like that.
would you say? Just
yeah,
after?
probably like around May or something like that next year.
Yep.
Give everyone about 5 months notice. I think that's good. Because
Yeah,
this year we kind of did like 15 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, after Worlds.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, we got to be a little bit earlier with that as well. I think that will help secure more people and kind of put that comp in their mind a little bit earlier on. I think that'll be, and also just like once people see what we're doing and like see the spectacle, they'll go, fuck, I want to be on that platform. And they'll, look forward to that invite as opposed to like,
And hopefully more prize money.
yes. All right, John, thanks for joining me. Thanks for laying down the law on what the SBD Australia Cup is. And I will chat to you guys next week.
Ciao. See you later.